Do you feel like you're watching a sci-fi original movie? You know, because sci-fi does all kinds of movies about sharks all the time. Only this is not a sci-fi original movie. This movie was actually in theaters. The Shallows, starring Blake Lively and pretty much nobody else. The Shallows is a story about a girl named Nancy. She travels to a beach in Mexico to just kind of get away from things, and then suddenly she ends up somehow surfing a little bit. She's surfing. She starts to surf. There's a shark there that's waiting for her, and he wants to have her for breakfast. And she ends up on a rock, fighting for her life. And keep in mind, this movie is about an hour and 27 minutes. So thankfully, it was not 2 hours, and we didn't have to sit there for 2 hours watching a girl, a good-looking chick, just sit there and fight for her life. I mean, because pretty much there's nobody else in this movie but Blake Lively, who also did Gossip Girl and Green Lantern and Savages. First of all, okay, this movie the problem with this movie to me is just there's no cast on this movie. It kind of texts people every now and then, and you see her talk to her parents. You see her kind of like see a couple people here and there, a couple Latinos on the beach, and some idiot, some drunk guy and he decides, okay, I think I'll go inside the water. Why not? So he gets and okay. So there's no cast to speak on this movie. Directed by let me see if I can pronounce his or her name right. Is Jamal Colette Serrera, and I think this movie. I think when they wrote this movie, they were thinking, okay, I don't think this movie's going to do too well in theaters, so let's kind of cut it down a little bit, make it about an hour and 20 minutes, and then hopefully people will buy it, and then we'll actually make a little bit of money out of it, because we don't actually believe in the project, so we might as well make it short. Because honestly, this movie doesn't need to be any longer than that, because if you had to sit there and watch a up and coming actress, and a shark circling around waiting to eat her. I mean, I don't call this tension building scenes. This movie's not what you would expect it to be. Like I said, what dragged it down for me is just it's straight to the point, and I find it is about as interesting as if I was in a bathtub in a pool and a shark was circling around. That's how interesting it was to me, honestly. I'm just being honest. And I mean, there's no tension building scenes, and I'm talking about you. And there's no there's the problem with this movie really is that she's the only person there, and when you actually see people get killed by the shark, you don't actually see the shark much. It's just her. She at first she starts out on a whale. She's on top of a dead whale that was killed by the great white, and then she ends up on the rock. And then she ends up one of those light poles that are on that helps ships find the where they're at. That's pretty much it. And then she decides, okay, all right, this is getting really difficult now. I'm about to get eaten. The shark starts to take a bite out of the thing little by little. She ends up at the bottom of the ocean, and somehow she's able to grab a flare gun. She tries to call for help, and she misses it the first time. The flare just hits the ocean, and then the second time she actually makes it, and somebody decides, okay, wait a minute, there's a senorita and over there. I need to go get help. I need to go help her. So somebody finally sees her after it makes you wonder, okay, where were the helicopters, the airplanes, where were the skiers at? I mean the water skiers at, okay? Where were the guys fishing? There's nobody there. It's just her to the whole movie, and it's just really to build up Blake Lively as a superstar. Okay, this girl is kind of searching for her film. this is definitely not her film. I'm sorry, okay? Like I said, I'd rather sit in my house and watch a sci-fi original movie about sharks, alligators, crocodiles, snakes, and bears or something, and at least on those movies, they're a little bit. There's a cast in the movie, even though they suck and they can't even act. But at least there's some kind of story to it. And so she finally she fights off the shark. She doesn't actually fight him off because she tries to she ends up stabbing it. She goes to the bottom of the ocean. The shark, being an animal, decides, okay, I think I'm gonna go right to take one last big bite out of crime, and it hits the broken structure and ends up impaling itself, and that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna give, okay, The Shallows. I think you would probably appreciate this movie. Don't go see this movie. Do not go see this movie. If you like Jaws, if you like movies like that, you're probably not going to like this movie. So I would wait till it's in the Redbox, till it's in Netflix. It's on DVD. Okay, because that's in the end, I give The Shallows, I give this movie a 10 out of 5, a 5 out of 10, because really there's no, when you see people get killed, you don't feel sorry for them because you don't actually see the shark killing them. It just kind of happens abruptly, and you don't you don't get the sense that you feel sorry for them getting eaten alive. The shark is done well. I mean, it looks real. It doesn't look like a sci-fi movie's CGI, bad CGI shark. It looks real, but the problem of the kills, there's no body count in this. There's no carnage. You know, it should be carnage candy, but it's not. So you get to see a couple of idiots. A drunk guy gets killed. You kind of see him go on the shore, and he's probably missing half of his torso, but you don't actually see that because it's probably rated PG-13. It's not rated R. If it would have been rated R, maybe it would have been a little bit more exciting. I think this movie should have been rated R. It would have helped the carnage. It would have helped some kind of, I don't know, some kind of sense of urgency. So, and then as far as Nancy's concerned, you don't really feel sorry for her much because, like I said, if she had, let's just say, a boyfriend oh, wait a minute, hold on, don't worry, I'll save you. Or maybe a couple friends, a couple of drunk friends or something that came on a boat or decided to go into the bay, right? And then they got eaten by a shark. But there was none of that. So in the end, The Shallows is really, I had a seminal good time watching this movie because there's no cast. That's the biggest problem. The story is just, it's so rushed. It looks like it's like an arc for Blake Lively to look good, to check her out in a nice bikini, to show her range as an actress. But it's just her the whole. And if this movie would have been 2 hours, I think I would have fell asleep watching it because it wouldn't have been worth. So I think, and like, that's the only thing that saves this movie is the running time, really, because that's why I find The Shallows a 5 out of 10, because a 10 out of 5, because it would have been, if it would have been 2 hours, I probably would have given this movie a loser rating. But in the end, The Shallows, you like I said, you don't want to go see this movie. Don't go see this movie. You're wasting your $10, okay? All right. If you like this video, you want to subscribe to the Film View Network, please do so. Like this video, share this video, and tell people about this channel because I'm just really starting out. Thank you, and I will see you guys real soon.